What's up guys, Commander Alex here, and today we are going to be talking about Vainglory objective control. So first things first, let's talk about the minion mines. Minion mines are really interesting because most people tend to capture them, but really there's very little reason to. So just the base sort of interesting thing that you need to know about them is that they do give you gold when you capture them. They're just like any other minion in that aspect, but they start with 100 base gold, and over time they will accrue more gold, meaning that the max amount of gold you can actually get by capturing a minion mine is 200. That means if you leave them alone for a long time, you're most likely going to get 200 gold, and if you constantly capture them back and forth, you can get closer to about 100 gold. Now moving on from that kind of boring stat, we're going to get into some of the more interesting things about them. The first being that they make your minions stronger. And at first glance, that actually seems like a really good thing. I captured this one 6 to 7 minutes ago, and it's already almost pushed down this turret, which is really, really good. You think, well, the objective of Vainglory is to take turrets and to eventually destroy the Vein Crystal, but in the beginning of the game and throughout most of the game, it's actually probably not a good idea to take your minion mines. And the reason is that you don't want your laner being pushed up. So right now, my minions are almost consistently on this side of the lane. They're past the halfway point, and my laner would have to be past the halfway point to be able to last hit these minions here. And that's not something that's good. We don't want that to happen, because what happens is if you have your minion mine taken or both minion mines taken, then your minions will actually be stronger than the enemy minions, and they will do pretty much what you're seeing right here. And when that happens, your laner is going to have to be over here, and it's going to be much more gankable. If your laner is past the halfway mark, he's very easy ganked, and if he gets ganked in a bad position, you could obviously end up giving up some kills on your laner, and that's definitely not worth the turret. If you get 4 kills onto a laner, but only get 1 turret out of it, it's just not a good trade for a couple of reasons. One, your laner is going to get underfarmed, so late game team fights are going to be harder for you. And 2, that first turret really doesn't mean that much. It gives you a little bit of control of the enemy's jungle, but for the most part, it just doesn't mean much. Moving on though, this does do a couple of other things for you. It also gives the enemy team more gold per minion, and this is really the thing that is worse, because if you have a fair lane and your laner's playing smart, he's not going to get ganked or anything, but at the same time your minions are still worth more gold than the enemy's minions, your laner will fall behind in farm, and that's going to mean that if you have a petal in lane, it's going to be very, very hard to deal with that over farming petal. So I really wouldn't suggest taking these until the very late part of the game when you're just trying to push down turrets quickly, and that's when you want that extra power from your minions, and you don't really care if the enemy team gets a little bit of extra farm. Now the gold mine already despawned, but we're just going to kind of cover that very quickly here. First things first, the gold mine should be taken as soon as possible when you get the chance, but don't try and go for the gold mine when all 3 enemy teammates are up and they're all full health. If you get a good team fight and manage to kill 1 to 2 enemy teammates, then that's definitely the time to go for it, because one person is going to be very hard to steal the gold mine. But you don't really need an ace to take the gold mine. That's kind of more of a Kraken thing. If you get an ace, then definitely go for the Kraken, but if you get an ace, then it's sometimes even better to just push down a turret than take the gold mine. Anyway, taking the gold mine is actually sort of an art, because what you're going to want to do, and this applies to the Kraken as well, you're going to want to hit it, and you're going to want to leash it over to your side of the map. You see how I'm leashing him all the way over here? Well, I cannot take that damage. If I can actually be a character with health, I would actually be able to pull him all the way over into this bush, and that means that stealing the Kraken is a lot harder. Also, when you're taking the Kraken, you're going to want to send one person over here when the Kraken's low on health to make sure that there's nobody in this brush, or if you're on the red team, send somebody over to this brush to make sure that there's nobody in there, and just make sure that you have a lot of vision around the Kraken pit, because if you end up getting that Kraken stolen, then not only is your team low on health, but the other team has crazy regen and a Kraken on their side, and you may have just thrown a game that could easily be yours into maybe not the best position. So that's definitely something you want to keep in mind. And as far as the gold mine goes, you want to come down whenever the gold mine is close to full, because when the gold mine is close to full, that's going to be the time when the enemy team is going to be looking to take it, and that's when it's going to be most worth to them. So if they take it when it's like 50 gold, that's 150 gold for them. You can easily make that back by just having your team farm. But if they take it when it's 300 in full, or close to 300 in full, then that's going to be 900 gold for them, and it's going to mean more vision and more pressure for them. So it's really an interesting time. You have to come down when it's about 75% full, and I would say just sitting in this brush waiting for them to try and go for it, and then if they do go for it, you can obviously counter them, because you're going to have a freaking gold mine on your side, and if you don't win that fight, then you're incredibly underfarmed and underpowered compared to your enemies. So basically that's all I have for you guys today, just to break down what I kind of told you guys today. Taking minion mines is really not worth it until late into the game when you want to push down turrets quickly. Taking the gold mine should only be done when you've killed at least 1 to 2 members of the enemy team, and when you don't feel like it's going to be stolen from you. And when taking any objective, you should always try and leash it over to this side, or if you're on the red team, to the other side, to make sure that you're in the best position to minimize it being stolen. Also, if you're taking the Kraken, I suggest doing it on aces, but if you're really far ahead and you have good vision, you can obviously take it if you get like a 2-for-0 conversion kill or something like that. So I hope this video helped you. If it did, be sure to leave a like, comment, and subscription, and become a lieutenant today. And I will talk to you guys in the next video. See ya.